Previously in Starlight Exodus.
Citizens of Ares, today we face an unprecedented crisis. The eruption of Elysium Mons has put many of our fellow Martians in
The specialized team dispatched to work with the discovered waters on Mars was working tirelessly. Suddenly, beneath this seemingly tranquil water, a hidden terror awaited, ready to surprise the Mars inhabitants and bring fear to all humanity. As one researcher carefully grabbed a sample of water from the ground, a large crab, like with monstrous pincer, emerged swiftly, severing his arm with a single, horrifying snap. The researcher screamed in agony as the monstrous crab sporting massive pincers that emerged from the water. The once hidden creature, buried beneath the Martian soil and water, had been released. The crew shouted in panic.
"Oh, a monster!"
The monstrous crab snapped its body using its enormous pincers, displaying its terrifying power. The other crew members, witnessing the horrifying scene, stood frozen in shock, unable to move after seeing what it did to one of their own. One by one, more monstrous crabs began to emerge from the water, each more terrifying than the last. As the scene unfolded, a specialized team of researchers found themselves paralyzed with fear. The harsh red landscape of Mars, once a symbol of hope and discovery, had turned into a nightmare. The lead researcher, Eric Hendricks, snapped out of her shock first.
"Everyone, fall back! We need to regroup!"
He shouted, trying to maintain a semblance of order amidst the chaos. His voice was barely audible over the deafening sounds of the monstrous crabs clambering out of the water. The crew scrambled, desperately trying to distance themselves from the advancing creatures. Each step of the monstrous crabs sent tremors through the Martian soil, making it difficult for the team to maintain their footing. The monster crabs, as tall 9 to 12 feet, with their set of two massive pincers and iron-hard shells, were unlike anything they had ever encountered. Their eyes glowed with an eerie, otherworldly light. Jimmy Pratt, another member of the team, managed to activate his communicator.
"Ace, this is Jimmy Pratt. We've got a major emergency. Hostile life forms at the water site."
His voice trembled, but he forced himself to stay focused. Back at the Mars colony, the control center buzzed with activity. Chief Commander Zane Morris, a seasoned leader with years of experience, listened intently to Pratt's frantic report.
"All available units prepare for rescue mission. We need to get our people out of there."
His expression turned grim. Meanwhile, the remaining researchers huddled together, trying to come up with a plan.
"We need to find higher ground," suggested one of the engineers, glancing around for any possible escape routes.
"Agreed. We'll head to the rocky outcrop to the east. It might give us some cover."
Hendricks nodded. As they moved, the monstrous crabs followed, their pincers snapping menacingly. The ground shook with each step, and the air was filled with the sound of clattering shells. The researchers could feel the creature's eyes on them, a constant reminder of the danger they were in. Just as they reached the outcrop, one of the crabs lunged forward, its pincers closing around another crew member's leg. The crew member screamed in agony as the pincer tightened, but with a burst of adrenaline, Hendricks and Pratt managed to pull him free, dragging him up to safety.
"We can't keep this up. We need more firepower."
Pratt gasped. Hendricks scanned the horizon, her mind racing.
"Look! The station outpost! If we can get to it, we might be able to hold them off long enough for the rescue team to arrive."
The team made a break for the station outpost, dodging and weaving to avoid the crabs. As they reached the outpost, Hendricks quickly entered the access code, pulling out emergency flare, laser cutters, and a few small explosive charges.
"Set up a perimeter. We'll use the flares to blind them and the charges to keep them away."
Hendricks instructed. The team worked quickly, setting up their defenses. The monstrous crabs, undeterred, continued their relentless advance. The first flare went off, casting a blinding light that momentarily halted the crab's progress. The charges of explosives followed, creating a temporary barrier between the researchers' outpost and the creatures. Back at the colony, Commander Morris watched the unfolding situation on the monitors. The rescue team was en route, but time was running out.
Hang in there! Rescue team is on the way!
He muttered, as the monstrous crabs regrouped, their eyes glowing more intensely. The researchers knew they were in for the fight of their lives. They stood their ground, united in their determination to survive. Mars Chief Commander Zane Morris stood in the command center, the tension palpable. He turned to his communication console, his fingers flying over the controls. The face of Mars, Governor Malik, appeared on the screen, his expression one of calm but stern authority. Zane began, his voice steady despite the gravity of his report.
Governor Malik, we have confirmed sightings of a monster crab in the northern sector. The creature is massive and poses a significant threat to our colonies.
Governor Malik's eyes narrowed.
How many have seen it, and what damage has it caused?
Zane nodded, acknowledging the seriousness of the situation.
Initial reports indicate it has already destroyed several remote research outposts. Casualties are still being assessed, but the creature's size and strength suggest it could cause catastrophic damage if it reaches populated areas.
Governor Malik.
We must act swiftly, his mind racing through the possible implications. I will issue an immediate warning to all cities and mobilize the Mars military. This attack cannot be allowed to spread further.
Within minutes, the warning went out. Across Mars, citywide alarms blared, and messages flashed on every communication device. The announcement was clear.
Attention all citizens. A group of monster crabs has been sighted in the northern sector. All cities and military units are to prepare for possible attack. Stay indoors and await further instructions.
In the military barracks, soldiers donned their gear, their faces set with determination. Advanced combat vehicles rolled out of hangars, and drones took to the skies, scanning for any signs of the creature. Citizens watched in apprehension as the usually serene Martian landscape buzzed with activity. Governor Malik paced in his office, watching the update stream in on his monitor. The Mars Defense Force had mobilized quicker than ever before, a testament to the rigorous training and preparedness instilled by Chief Commander Morris. Malik turned to his aide.
Prepare the emergency response teams. We need to be ready for any scenario.
Meanwhile, Simon and Jean, still recovering from their recent ordeal, exchanged worried glances as the alarms echoed. One of the soldiers, a stern-looking woman with a scar across her cheek, addressed the people in the temporary shelter.
Listen up, everyone. We are under threat from a creature known as the monster crabs. It has already caused significant damage in the northern sector. We need to stay vigilant and follow all safety protocols. Do not venture outside unless absolutely necessary.
Simon clutched Jean's arm.
Did you hear that? A monster crab. What are we going to do?
Jean tried to keep his voice steady.
We'll be fine. We'll stick together and follow the instructions. We've gotten through tough situations before.
Jean and Simon could see the determination on the faces of the soldiers, and it filled them with both fear and a strange sense of courage. Back in the command center, Zane Morris coordinated the defense efforts, his mind focused on one goal: protecting the people of Mars from this unprecedented threat. He knew the battle ahead would be tough, but with the combined strength of Mars military and the resilience of its people, they had a fighting chance. Governor Malik's voice echoed through the command center.
Commander Morris, ensure all sectors are fortified. We cannot let this creature breach our defenses.
Zane responded with a resolute.
Understood, Governor. We will hold the line.
As the communications cut off, he turned to his team.
All right, everyone. You heard the Governor. Let's show this monster what the Martian military is made of. The future of the Mars colony, and perhaps all of humanity, depended on their ability to overcome this terrifying new threat.